Hi guys, this is going to be my video reflection for field experience for fall of 22. So I just kind of wanted to start with the first question that we were asked. What did we think about the class before coming to class, and then diversity in urban school-based teaching. So I'll be honest, like coming from an area where there wasn't like much diversity, and I graduated with 40 something kids, I didn't know what to expect when I entered this class and like found out that we'd be placed in Columbus. I was kind of nervous because it was just so different than anything I had ever known before, and I was honestly kind of fearful. I'll be the first to admit that I definitely have like biases in my life, and I always see things about how there's bad things happening in Columbus, and I was just nervous that I would be exposed to something that was dangerous or made me feel like I wasn't safe in the environment. I also, at the same time though, was very curious as to what was going to happen and how like being exposed to these situations would impact me as a future teacher. And I think that I've learned so much from this experience and from this class that will definitely impact me as I continue through the teaching program. One thing about this class that what I've learned since this class is that Columbus is not a scary place. The kids it's Ridgeview Middle School where I'm at. The kids are wonderful. They're amazing, they're intelligent, and there's so much diversity. And I have learned so much about so many different cultures that I never thought that I would learn before. Another thing that I've learned is that some of these schools, they have students that have been exposed to unimaginable tragedies in their lives, violence, gang shootings, and then we have students that have come over from other countries that experience things in their home countries that we would never imagine to experience in the United States. I think that learning and seeing all these things firsthand, I know better how to serve students in the future of ones that are coming from areas of poverty and neglect and abuse and anything like that. I think one of the most valuable parts of this class to me was our discussions about what was going on in our field experience. I think learning from each other is also very important, not just sitting down and reading a book or watching a PowerPoint in class. I think that the way that this class was set up with us learning from each other and talking is the most important thing that we could have done. I think one of my favorite things that we did in class was the Freedom Writers podcast, and I really enjoyed reading those discussion posts about what everybody else was hearing from theirs. I know personally mine was like about sexual abuse survivors, and it just kind of got me in the state of mind that how many students will I encounter that have been through something like that, or that won't have the ability to speak up because they're afraid. Another thing I'd like to talk about is learning how to be more inclusive in the classroom and creating equal opportunities for everyone. I think that before this, I wasn't even really aware of how to be an equitable teacher or even an equitable person. And I think that from our conversations and these experiences of seeing different cultures merge together and become a community, I've learned how I can include so many different cultures in my future classroom. Something I will say that I wish was a little different about this class was I think it deserves so much more than 1 credit hour, because the experiences and the conversations and the amount of heart and soul you put into this class is so much more than just an hour a week. I think that it would be so beneficial if this class was longer or had an additional day to meet. I feel like we covered so much, but I feel like there's so much more to be covered, to tell you the truth. Specifically, the things I've taken home is when I come to my community, very small, very straightforward, no diversity, I like to think about, not seeing people for what they are on the outside and seeing them for what they have on the inside. And that's how I want to be as a teacher too, is taking the things my students say and do and giving power to them and letting them know that they matter and the things that they want out of life are important to me too. I don't know, I feel like this class was so beneficial to me, and not even just my knowledge for being a teacher, but just as a person. And I think that diversity in schools is a beautiful thing because it helps kids understand so much more about each other, and it stops the narratives, and you can tell your own story. And I just hope that one day that I can inspire my students to be equitable, inclusive, diverse people, because you open the door to so many things you didn't even know existed. And I'm very thankful that I had the opportunity to take this class this semester, and I will use the things I learned for the rest of my life.